Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, November 24th. And we are looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And kudos to the bulls as they basically accomplished everything today in the SPY except getting the all-time high. They became within spitting distance of it. The pre-market all-time high is still another almost $3 higher than there. But kind of a strange day. We go out, trend day up, firm trend day, 3 sets of single prints. We had 4, 1 got filled, but we had 9 wide. Now we're 10 wide and N, but I don't count that. If I knew we were going to basically get rotational for basically 7 time frames, 9 time frames or 8 time frames, boy, it would have been some great opportunities to be buying and shorting up here. I had a very good day. The majority of my day was done in A, B, and C on the long side. I told the room, when B opened and got just below the open and stayed there, and then C went trend, I said plain and simple, if B holds, the odds of a trend day are very, very good. And that's exactly what happened. Because if we had taken out B's low and stopped the one-time framing up right away, for my money's worth, we probably would have possibly filled the gap and gone rotational. However, they held it, went trend, and then form a huge P shape. We had decent excess when I popped, but right now, look at the way they're eating into it, an end period. We made all-time highs in the Russell again, in the Dow, which hit 30,000, and in the transports. So those 3 all hit all-time highs today. The S&P, SPY, and the NASDAQ did not, but a couple of very interesting things. Let's go before I start my day. Here's the Russell. Gap to an all-time high again. That's 2 days in a row. They came out of a 5-day balance on a gap, held it yesterday, gapped higher today, held it again today. They did not have a trend day. Even yesterday they didn't. So they did not have any trend days, but all-time high. And now here's the triple Qs. I said this in this morning's video. I said, look at these 6 highs. They were all very close to each other. If they get taken out and get acceptance above, triple Qs should start to run. Well, they did do that today, and they closed above it. So now the question is, again, one day doesn't make a market, but if they're able to stay above this whole balance area, well, then they can start making their move to the all-time high, which is still about $8, $9 away from where we are. We're a lot closer than that. Now, we have an inside month up. And again, we're $9 above it right now. So very, very positive again. This time, let's see if they can hold that kind of distance away from last month's high. We have an inside week up. Now, we only have a day and a half left in the week, so we'll see how much more we get out of it. But still, very positive. And the daily is up, and the gap being my main focus. So, again, as far as my trades, basically I took a long, and I played the 358 calls in A, the 359 calls in B, and the 360 calls in C. Went long against the gap in A when we pulled back. Remember I said I don't want to buy it right away? Everybody's screaming gap rules apply. Well, if it gapped and went, that so be it. But it didn't. We did get its decent inventory adjustment, which gave a beautiful trade location against the gap if case it filled. It didn't. So those worked out. Then in B, we take out A's high, get long again. One time framing up now with the 359 calls. And then in C, we open, hold the single prints, trend day up, held those for long. Now, I could have and should have done the same thing in D and E. I wanted to get long again in D. It just did not pull back enough for me, so I didn't take the trade. And the same in E. We never really got the pullback. I told the room, look, number one, just like when it's flushing out, do not fade a trend day and short it. Wait for two-sided trade. What's two-sided trade? Well, this certainly isn't, only 2 wide. This became two-sided trade in F, G, and then obviously became two-sided trade the rest of the day. But to stay out of trouble, I implored the room not to short here in A, B, C, D, and E. We kept a lot of people out of trouble. Doesn't mean just because if you don't want to chase it. I didn't chase it in D or E. I had a very good A, B, and C, but I didn't chase it. Wait for it to come to you. If it doesn't, so be it. It's the money you keep. And then finally, when we got two-sided trade, you can be both long and short during that. The only other trade I took today was a short and K period when I thought we might get a decent flush. Now, it worked out. Didn't get the flush I wanted by any stretch. And then that was it. Now, I want to show you something that I showed the room late in the day when I put this in 5-tick increments. This is pretty fascinating to me. I mean, the volume overall was pretty light. The volume overall, right now, it's at 57 million. So, again, it's light. But here's what really fascinated me. We had almost a $4.50 range. The majority of that volume, right? White is the lowest amount. Purple is the next. I think it's 50% white, 40% purple, 10% yellow. Look at where it's done in a 40-cent range. So what is this telling us? It's telling us the market is tremendously long from today. They did not alleviate the pressure of these longs in J and K. No way. Just didn't come down enough. Didn't have the volume. So here's what I'm thinking for tomorrow. We came within a hair's distance of the all-time high. So one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to open above this level tomorrow and get the all-time high. Now, by that I mean the regular trading hours. I don't know if we're going to get the pre-market just yet. It's not like it's only 50 cents away. It's $2.50 away, basically, from the regular trading hours. So we're either going to open above this level and get the all-time high, or we're going to open below this level, and then it's going to be important how much lower we go to see what happens with all these longs up here. If we open, say, around, K's low and open around here, take out one set of single prints, and then start coming back up to the point of control, they might not be as nervous. But if you get any kind of push down, these longs are going to give it up. And then I can see us flushing and maybe taking back the whole trend day. So that's a very important thing to keep an eye on for tomorrow morning, what transpires. Again, it doesn't mean the market would be bad. It would just mean that these longs didn't get what they wanted. And I'll be honest with you, because we kept trading here and they weren't getting new highs, I really thought we would get a much bigger flush. And I was ready to take my put down to, say, around D's low, half back, and then take the put off and get long. Never happened. So they're still long for my money's worth. All right. Destinations for tomorrow. Now, and then one other thing. Is it a P shape? I guess you can say it, but don't forget, we have 3 sets of singles. Upside, there are 3 destinations left, and that's it. 360.381, today's high. 364.38, monthly high, all-time high, and 366.77, pre-market all-time high. And don't forget, even though it was a very good day, we are still 11 days inside of 2.5 weeks ago, all-time high, that Monday. Be interesting if we get it or not. For the downside, first destination is 9 wide, 362.78. Then the afternoon pullback low, K's low, 362.32. And then our 3 sets of single prints, 362.17, get filled at 361.77. So that's E's low to C's high. Then we have D's low, 361.49 to B's high of 02. And then we have the last set, C's low, 360.46, get filled at 39, A's high. And then today's low of 359.29, and then filling the gap at 358.82, a 47-point gap. And then on the charts, monthly, inside month up by a good amount already again, but we've seen that played. We've seen that game before, haven't we? So I'm still calling it balance, but it is an inside month up. We are above the previous all-time high of $358.75 by almost $4, and we're above the inside month's high by over $9. Everything going for them. Weekly. I'm calling it up. You want to call it balance, up to balance? Be my guest. But the bottom line is this. Inside month up for now. 362.59 was last week's high, not 362.78. I don't know why they're saying that. Now, we up above it by a lot? No, only above it by 63 cents, but it is an inside week up. So inside month up, inside week up. Daily, calling it up. It came out of a 3-day balance on a gap to the upside up. The bigger picture, no doubt, is an 11-day balance inside of the previous all-time high. But in the short term, I'm calling this up out of the 3-day balance. It's there for the bulls to take. Whether it's tomorrow, Friday, or early next week, the bulls have everything going for them in the S&P. Basically, in the entire market. Every indice keeps going towards their highs or have made new highs. Let's see if they can keep it going throughout the last month of the trading year. That's coming up starting next Tuesday. I hope you had a good day trading. We had an excellent day in the trading room today. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Have a great evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.